My parents sent me to fat camp against my will for the entire summer. I'm a 14-year-old boy living in upstate New York with my mom and stepdad. My dad died before I was born, and I grew up with just my mom until I was 10 when she met a man. They got married about 2 years ago and have been my stepdad ever since. I hate my stepdad and he doesn't hate me either. I'm glad my mom met him. She was very lonely when I was little, and he makes her happy. He's also a very kind person. We were also very poor, and he's a businessman who makes a lot of money and can take care of my mom so she doesn't have to work too hard. He's never argued with me, and we don't fight. But there's still an awkward atmosphere at home, even though we both try to be kind to each other. My stepfather and I have little in common, but I want to repeat that I generally have a good attitude towards him because I know that many people have much worse relationships with their stepfathers and stepmothers. I am very fat. Very, very fat. I have always been like this. Last year, I was the tallest in the class, but I weighed about 118 kilograms, which is, of course, a lot, and I am perfectly aware of it. My weight does not bother me. I like being fat. The only thing it affects is my relationships with girls, but on the other hand, it is immediately clear to me that the girl is superficial. I do not want to eat right, and I think about food very often. I tried to go on diets, but they left me deeply unhappy. I am not lazy. I try very hard in my studies and in everything in general. I just don't care about my weight. My mother worries more than I do, but she has never pestered me about it. But Oakham constantly brings up this topic. He never does it rudely, he just hints. She keeps inviting me to the gym and only buys me healthy food, which I can't get enough of. A few weeks ago, we went to the doctor, who started lecturing me about the importance of eating right. Today, my mom and stepdad decided to talk to me. Today is the last day of school before the holidays. They reminded me about my doctor's appointment and said that they were sending me to a health camp for literally the entire summer, from the beginning of June until mid-August, the entire summer. I Googled it, and it turned out to be a regular camp for fat people. I was very upset, begged them not to send me there, but they said that they had already paid for everything and that I would definitely go. I never yell at my parents, but I couldn't continue the conversation. I just went straight to my room and cried. Later, I came down again and very politely asked if I could not go. But they said again, no. I asked why I was being punished, and they said that it was not a punishment. I left again because I would yell at them otherwise. I don't want to yell at my parents. Legally, they can force me to go. I'll be 15 by the middle of the summer. I'll have to get on a plane. But can they legally force me to get on a plane? I would understand if I was 10 or something, but I'm a teenager now. This is my last summer before high school, and it's stupid to waste it like this. At 14 or 15, don't they need my consent? Thank you so much for your help. Update 1. I'm at home for now. I've had many conversations with my parents, but they refuse to change their minds. I thought about leaving home for a while, but ultimately decided against it. I tried to hold back, but honestly, I'm really angry at my parents for doing this, and I feel worse about them now than I did before. It's like they don't care about my opinion at all. I read about the camp, and no one loses weight there. Although, again, I don't care anyway. I'm leaving for camp tomorrow night, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. I feel very depressed and have not felt any joy since this all started. I Googled it. Technically, it would be easy to not get on the plane, but I still don't want to make a scene. I'm not specifically going to try to lose weight at camp, which I honestly warned my parents about. For some reason, they now act like I suddenly wanted to go myself. Just because I said that, I would not physically resist. And what I say and think, they really don't care. I have much less respect for my parents now and don't want to be near them at all. In any case, I'm leaving tomorrow, thanks to those who helped me with advice. Many people said that it is impossible to be fat and happy at the same time. And I think these people are wrong, but I don't think they will ever change their minds. Well, before we move on to the update, I suggest you write in the comments right now what you think about this story. Do you think it's okay for parents to send their kids to camp against their will? What would you do if you were the guy in this story? Should you go or not? Because on the one hand, yes, I completely understand this guy, but on the other hand, well, maybe you should go because sometimes it seems like it's going to be really, really bad. But then you go and it turns out okay. You know, meeting new people, joining a group, and all that happens, things turn out completely different. For the better, of course. Now, let's find out what happened next. Update 2. I'm already home. I was sent to camp earlier this month. I didn't resist, but I warned my parents in advance that I wouldn't be participating in the activities if possible. They didn't take my words seriously. I got on the plane, and then on the bus, I told the counselors the same thing. I was very polite, but honest. My tactic was to use peaceful, non-violent resistance until they sent me home, unless the camp turned out to be completely crazy. It wasn't. I had read a book about the civil rights movement a few months earlier and decided to adopt their methods. Obviously, my situation was nothing like the civil rights movement, but the methods worked. When I got to my cabin, I simply lay down on my bed and politely said that I didn't plan on participating in the classes. The counselors were nice to me at first, then a little less nice, tried to coax me into doing something, but they couldn't. And anyway, I was too heavy to just drag me out of bed. They turned out to be nice people, and I wanted to be nice too, but again, I openly and honestly refused. After I moved into the cabin, I didn't go to any events. I calmly and politely refused to go to opening ceremonies, classes, meetings, entertainment, even though none of it was voluntary. When the other kids in the cabin tried to convince me to go out, I also politely refused to talk to them. The counselor said that if I didn't participate, I wouldn't get lunch or dinner. I refused, assuming that they should feed me something anyway. I was right. That evening and the next morning, I wasn't given anything to eat because I didn't show up for the dining hall, but then they did bring me dinner, although it was terribly healthy and tasteless. I was very bored and hungry, but I kept imagining that they would let me go home early. This went on for 6 days. The whole time I was lying in bed, and they brought me food. I brought books with me, but they were taken away from me, so I had to just lie there and make up entertainment in my head. It was the most boring thing I've ever done. About a week or 6 days later, I'm not sure, the director or the owner of the camp came to me and talked to me personally. He was very kind to me. I tried to be polite too, but again, I honestly said that I would not do anything until I went home. He tried to convince me that I wanted to lose weight, when in fact, I did not. The next day, he called my parents, and I went out to talk to them on the phone for the first time in his office. They begged me to start working out. We had a weird conference call with the parents on the phone, where the camp director and the parents together tried to convince me to participate and even shamed me a little. But again, I just calmly refused. They said they would give me 3 more days to think about it. I said it would not change anything, but they still insisted. In the end, I did 3 more days, plus 1 extra. After that, there was another conference. And that evening, they put me on a plane and sent me home because I peacefully refused to do anything. And the camp realized that keeping me there was pointless. In the end, they tried to shame me again, but I said that I can't feel guilty about the fact that they are simply doing what other people want from me. I felt a little sad that I was an inconvenience to the counselors and the director, because they personally did nothing bad to me, but I was really happy that I didn't have to spend the whole summer there. Since I came back, my parents have been sad and barely talked to me, but the main thing is that I'm home and I don't have to suffer there for another month. They also got some of my money back because I didn't spend the entire time I plan on there. I appreciate everyone's advice, even if I don't agree with it. Thank you. I got almost my whole summer back. Update 3. Is it really that great to be skinny? I'm 14, weigh 255 pounds, and I've always been really fat. Honestly, most of the time, I'm fine with it. It's a good way to figure out who's being superficial and who's genuinely interested in you. And I don't have to worry about a lot of things that I think people obsess over too much. And losing weight has actually changed someone's life. I don't care if I live 5 to 10 years less, and I don't care if people treat me better. I think everything they say about health is greatly exaggerated, and the social aspects are complete. Update 4. Can my parents or school force me to take heart medication? A few months ago, I had severe heartburn, which the doctors mistook for a heart attack. Since then, I have been forced to take some medication at home, although I do not want to, because I read about the side effects and do not want to take pills for a non-existent problem. From the very beginning, I simply stopped taking these pills, but my parents found out, and there was a big scandal at home. My parents contacted my school, and after talking to the principal, now every morning I am forced to go to the school psychologist's office with another school employee, and they watch me swallow the pills that I supposedly need. For a while, I would go to the toilet and make myself throw up right after, but they found out, and now I have to sit for 20 minutes after taking the pills and drink water. I am not allowed to go to class if I refuse to take the pills. How is this even legal? Sorry to ask here, but I literally can't find any information anywhere. Where can I go if even the school principal is involved in this? Update 5. I am 15 years old and I am terrified of dying. I once wrote here that I don't need to lose weight and I was wrong. I currently weigh 125 kilograms. 2 days ago, I woke up suffocating. I just couldn't breathe. This has happened before, but never this bad. I woke up suffocating, and it was the scariest moment of my life. I cried for about 20 minutes. Now I am ready to change, but I am so scared that I will die anyway. I have been ignoring a whole bunch of problems. I don't understand this at all. I've had terrible heartburn before. Today I tried eating less, which I haven't done in years, and I made it through about 70% of the day. And then I couldn't stop. My hands were shaking from how hungry I was. I read studies that say that after losing weight, almost everyone gains it back. Exercising seems impossible. Eating less seems impossible. I'm just so scared. I'm really sorry. I try to read about protein, carbs, and calories, but the information just doesn't make sense to me. Conflicting advice everywhere. I don't want to die. I've posted before, and now that I'm making real progress for the first time, I decided to update. I was 15 when I had severe heartburn, which was mistaken for a heart attack. Then I was diagnosed with sleep apnea. Now, that's true. I couldn't breathe properly, and it scared me. So I decided to change something and lose weight. I did 3 main things. Calories. I counted calories, used a tracker that told me what I could eat. I ate healthier foods, but I still ate unhealthy foods sometimes. Vegetables, meat, cookies, candy, everything was within my calorie limit. I usually skip breakfast because I don't want to eat in the morning, and then I eat 3 times in half a day. It's much easier for me than spreading out my meals throughout the day. I drank only water. It was very difficult, but in the end, it helped a lot, especially in terms of not going overboard with calories. Walking. I listened to music and had to walk for an hour every day. At first, it was very difficult. Then it got easier. I think I'll increase the duration soon. When I started doing all this, the weight started to go away very quickly. The first week, I felt very bad physically. Then it got better, and it has stayed that way. I don't really feel anything, but I continue to lose weight because I'm still afraid that I'll start to suffocate again. I want to get to 90 kilograms, and then we'll see. I'm very depressed. My parents don't talk to me anymore. They've been ignoring me almost completely for months. I don't take the pills they prescribe me because of the misdiagnosis, and they just decided not to talk to me anymore, even after I lost weight. They buy the groceries that I ask for. We discuss everything in messages, and I cook my own food. We talk maybe once a week, and then briefly. They deliberately try to spend time outside the house so as not to be near me. They spend maybe 3 evenings a week at home. I don't care anymore. I want to lose even more weight. Then, when I turn 18, I want to leave and never talk to them again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm writing an update because many people wrote to me in private messages. I continue to lose weight. After escaping fat camp and having a heart attack at 15, I lost weight and am now living my best life from 285 pounds to 175 pounds. A couple of years ago, I wrote a few posts about my experiences with obesity, my relationship with my parents, and how I was sent to fat camp against my will. I recently saw someone discussing my story on Discord and decided to give an update. I lost weight. I tried twice in a year and a half. First, I lost about 40 pounds, then about 50 pounds, but each time I gained it back and had to start from scratch. Early last year, I tried again, and this time it worked. Since then, I have lost all the excess weight and even gained some muscle mass through strength training. I am still adjusting to my new body. Sometimes I still instinctively take a few steps back when I pass other people. Here are 4 things that made this third approach different. First, I tried less. It sounds stupid, but it's true. I wasn't obsessed with losing weight like I was before, and that's what helped me not to burn out and give up. I just counted calories without fanaticism, did cardio, and lifted weights 3 to 4 times a week. Ate about 80% healthy and 20% unhealthy. It stopped being a struggle. I can eat like this my whole life and not feel like I'm missing something. I didn't have that feeling with my previous diets. Second, I moved out of my parents' house at 17 and started living with a friend's family. It's easier for me to lose weight because my parents weren't around. There's a lot I didn't write in my old posts. I was too young then to fully understand what was going on. I was in denial, often being unpleasant to talk to. But my mom and Ocam were bad parents and neglected me more than I realized then. Sometimes they would suddenly pop back into my life to make up for the months of absence. They would go away for weeks or months at a time, leaving me alone in the house with a full house of fast food. I thought it was cool at the time, but now I realize how awful it was. They weren't cruel, but they were bad at parenting, and when they tried, they went overboard, like sending me to camp or giving me big speeches after months of total neglect. We had a lot of fights in the last few months I was still living with them. I owned up to my mistakes, and they never owned up to theirs. One day, a woman who had been friends with my mom on the phone for 6 years came to visit. She lived in another state and talked to my mom almost every day. So, she said she didn't even know my mom had a son. Third thing, I now have friends who know my story, and we go to the gym together. It really helps to have people around who love and support you. We also play sports, and it's a lot of fun. And fourth thing, I read Marcus Aurelius in private. It helped a lot. I'm still taking the statins for my heart, although the dosage has been reduced. I'm taking my first dose in a couple of weeks since I lost all the weight. Hopefully they'll let me stop. But if not, well, whatever will be, will be. In one of the comments, I think I compared myself to Nelson Mandela for refusing to go to fat camp. That was incredibly cringeworthy. Sorry. I had just read his biography at the time. That was what was going through my mind. I was 15. I was stupid. I'll probably look back on it someday and think I'm still stupid. I'm in college, hoping to transfer to a university and get a degree in avionics or mechanical engineering or something. I'm not depressed anymore. I have a girlfriend now. She's a supermodel from Canada. To be honest, I won't read most of these messages, but I have hundreds of old messages in my PM over the years from people who have tried to help me. Thank you for your support. If you're in the same hole I was in, you can get out. The most important thing I've learned is that you can't become a better person if you hate yourself.